them on top. Jason Smith there on pitcher. And a reshuffling of their side with a couple of changes. You see Rod Maybon there in jumper number 16 in for an injured Keith Blackett. And Aaron Raper returns from that dislocated elbow, replacing the suspended Troy Campbell. And I can tell you there's also a change to their bench. Among the fresh reserves today for Parramatta will be the very classy David Woods. Jim Dimmick in 13. What a start to the year he's had. Nathan Barnes will have goal-kicking duties today in jumper number 4. Peter Johnston. And the Tom RAUDONIKIS coach, Western Suburbs, Paul LANGMACK. For the first time in the Optus Cup, leads his team out onto the field. His deputy, Craig Coleman, at his side. Paul LANGMACK returning from injury. It's sort of a good news, bad news day for Western Suburbs. With Paul LANGMACK back from injury, but Brent Stewart, he will be a big loss out of the front row. That Magpies lineup, a real mix of youth and experience. The likes of Coleman and LANGMACK there, and their new faces in the forward pack, CAPOVILLA and Harris, both of whom are Parramatta juniors. Sideline duties for this afternoon's match, Steve Roach.
Yeah, human conditions here down on the sideline. Parramatta have won the toss. Western Suburbs will kick off and run towards the scoreboard. Biggest worry for Tom RAUDONIKIS is the consistency. A good win against Auckland last week. He expects his players to go on with the job this week against Parramatta.
Enthusiasm of Western Suburbs needed. Mark Oaten, the man presiding over this match. And Western Suburbs running from left to right on your screen, and Andrew LEEDS has us underway. Gary Freeman fielding the kick 5 metres out from his own line. It's McCRACKEN, is it, who brings it back to the 20. And tackled front on there by Chad Harris. And some vigorous defence comes over the top. Cherry Mesher came spilling out of the back of that 3-man tackle. They tried to take Peter Johnston front on. Now it's Ritson with a follow-up. And he takes a few victims along the way. 2 players for Western Suburbs ended up on their backs. As Freeman, inside ball now for King. And tackled 8 metres inside his own half, GEORGALLIS, and also Dunn there.
A good solid start from Eels here as Jimmy Dimmick takes the ball to the halfway line. Will be very interesting to watch Aaron Raper's service from dummy half. Here he is kicking the football now. The left elbow very heavily bandaged. Amazing to think that he's back 2 weeks after dislocating that elbow. Andrew LEEDS now can't beat the tackle of McCRACKEN.
McCRACKEN first up on the chase. And the Magpies now with the job of working it away from that 10-metre zone. Ken McGUINNESS gets an early touch. His brother Kevin scored 2 tries in that match last week over Auckland. A match where they were never headed. And I'm sure that would be the most favourable game plan as far as Western Suburbs are concerned today. If they can get their noses in front, stay there. Now working a blindside, Coleman. They will offload the pass, around the corner they go. The Magpies, inside ball now for WILLIS. Put down 35 metres out from the line. Some nice attacking play from the Magpies. And now keeping it going on the last tackle with LANGMACK. He kicks over the top, pressure here for DAVEY, and he does well. Scott DAVEY stood his ground, didn't really have to leap for the ball, but never took his eyes off it.
Well, some enterprising play from West in the opening minutes of the game. Beautiful ball popped, and they went down that left flank, and it ended up a good tackle by Scott Mahon to nullify the attack.
No score in the early stages of this match is Raper for Freeman. Now Dimmick, half a step there, looking to offload, and he does manage somehow between 3 defenders.
We saw him throw a couple of miracle balls last weekend against Canberra. One of them led to tries. I think he's potentially the best player in the game. And we'll kick through now. Andrew LEEDS, as always, well positioned, but confronted by a good chasing team led by Rod Maybon.
Good pick up from Andrew LEEDS. As you say, Maybon the first chaser. Was listed to play last weekend, Rod Maybon off the bench, but didn't actually take part in that win over Canberra. So making his debut for the Eels, this is Chad Harris. 5 metres inside his own territory, centre field, Mesher to the left, almost a forward pass out of dummy half. Now some quick hands, GEORGALLIS and LEEDS combined. Just on the fringe of the ruck, and it was a good tackle from Jarrod McCRACKEN, who seems to be very much focused going into today's match. LANGMACK an inside ball for Dunn, flat-footed, and held up and now put to ground by RITSON over the top. Down below was Dimmick, who's hurt in that tackle, I think, Jim Dimmick. Just getting back on side now. Last tackle for Western Suburbs. A high ball from Leeds, but a deep one. And Scott Mahon fields it at the back and then does a job of getting around Brandon Pearson and back to the 20. Scott Mahon, a player who missed basically all of 1995 because of a serious arm injury, dislocated and broken elbow for Scott Mahon. So Eels fans happy to see him back at fullback for Parramatta. This is Dimmick. He's recovered from that knock. Back inside for Ritson. This time the Magpies able to lock up the ball. Capovilla went low. Made his first grade debut last week. Freeman. There's a chance here on the left. He can't slip the pass around the corner. Barnes was there. They're 5 metres inside Magpies territory. They've used up 5 tackles, Parramatta. Calling for the ball, Dimmick. And he kicks for Willis's wing. The chase not at any pace from Russell WYER, just standing his ground. And Willis just back over his own 20. Looked interesting, that kick. I thought they might have tried something a little more attacking.
A good display of experience from Gary Freeman on the left-hand side of this field. A lot of players getting their arm free and seeing support on the outside would have thrown the ball. Freeman realised that the better option was not to take a chancy pass, get a quick play the ball going, try and create something on the next play. That's Darren Capovilla. Parramatta player tackled centre field, 35 out from his own line. Now Billy Dunn.
Season campaigner Bill Dunn, not so Capovilla, just 22 years of age. You look at the head-to-head, Western Suburbs with the advantage over Parramatta. This is a last tackle play for Andrew Leeds, kicking straight down centre field. The bounce evades Mahon, and now he gets into a bit of trouble with the right upright. And Mahon, what looked like was going to be a simple kick to fetch. Now he's done well, linking up with a support 15 metres out from his own line. Davey positioned himself well, or Mahon more or less got him in position. Plays it now for Mahon, now with Johnston. A fine start to the year Peter Johnston has had for Parramatta, returning to the club and the ground where he started in league in 1989. They've coughed it up through Jason Smith. In my way of thinking, that was his first touch of the ball.
And a fair collision there. I've heard a couple of players. There's 6 again signalled by the referee, and Cherry Mesha finds a little bit of space. Jason Smith limping back into the defensive line.
So no shortage of enthusiasm from the Western Suburbs Magpies as GEORGALLIS to Leeds, and a bone puncher from McCRACKEN. Took him right out of the play. The bottom line, the Magpies still in possession. And Andrew Willis it is who dummies. He's now looking for support. Still going, links up with Kevin McGUINNESS. And tackled just a metre out from the line, Nathan Barnes. Clinging on in the tackle, Andrew Willis has a go for the line. He backs over, can't force the ball, Andrew Willis. The Magpies right on the Parramatta line. Cherry Mesha at dummy half. A slow play the ball. Mesha away for Coleman. Short pass for Harris. Ritson comes over the top to put an abrupt end to that rush from Chad Harris. 5th tackle, says referee Oaten. Now with Coleman, he spreads it across the line. Pearson standing behind the attacking line puts a kick in, and that ended up a disappointing end to the set of 6. However, we do have a touch judge here.
Well, the touch is raced on for some reason, but great football by Western Suburbs. Andrew Willis to the fore there. He beat a couple of ineffective tackles, and just the last kick, not the right option for them because it went straight to Scott Mahon, but Parramatta players have been called out. Jim Dimmick, Gary Freeman's there.
Yeah, not often you see Gary Freeman miss such a simple tackle as he did on the 5'8". Andrew Willis. It will be a Western Suburbs penalty. And Blocker, you're down there right next to it. What happened?
Yes, it was a late tackle on Andrew Willis trying to support the ball. Gary Freeman made the tackle, penalty to Western Suburbs.
Well done, Block.
Well, they're going to take advantage of Andrew Leeds' goal-kicking ability. They're going for the 6 points. Billy Dunn driven back in some pretty good defence. 12 out, so a chance taken here early in the game by the Black and Whites.
Mesha it is away for Chad Harris. Leading the way in the hit-ups department, young Chad Harris. Mesha again at dummy half for Coleman. Fires his pass along for Andrew Willis. Then brings the second man into play. That was Paul Langmack. So they've got a few playmakers in their side, Western Suburbs, with the return of Langmack. Now GEORGALLIS. A jinking run. The defence didn't move up all that quickly off their line. And GEORGALLIS in turn right up to the goal line. Coleman. Runner pass, that was Langmack. This is good defence from Parramatta, all the same. It's 5th tackle, 2nd set of 6 they've had to defend their line with Andrew Willis. He thought about a cut-out ball, he's lost it altogether as he tried to get boot to it. And again, Parramatta has hung on. 0-0 the score, the Eels and the Magpies.
Bit of a a waste, really. They didn't do too much constructive in that set, and they could be leading 2-0 had Andrew Leeds had taken the kick for the penalty.
We were treated to a wonderful exhibition of rugby league last night in tension at Suncorp Stadium in front of over 34,000 fans. Well, there's not quite that sort of crowd here today, but certainly the same sort of tension in the early stages of the match. Parramatta under enormous pressure as MAYBON forced to come back infield. WILLIS and LANGMACK the tackles.
Already some movement on the bench as the last tackle signalled against the Eels goes to Freeman. Just wonder, with Marty McKenzie going to the sideline, whether Jason Smith will be the player to come off. He was hurt when he dropped the football minutes ago. Coach Ron Hilditch keen to get a fresh player out there as Western Suburbs go wide immediately early in the tackle count. Brandon Pearson can't beat the tackle of MAYBON, who's had a good start for this game for a new club.
A shot of Marty McKenzie on the sideline. Matthew Spence and David Woods, the other fresh reserves today for Parramatta. So one up their sleeve from the lower grades, and that is good defence.
Yeah, guess who?
And no surprise, Peter Johnston. And the head of Chad Harris was rocked back. Both wearing headgear, those two players are now put down by Coleman. Doesn't often get caught in possession. And now a penalty goes the way of Parramatta, and that's against Paul Langman. Steve Roach on the sideline.
Yeah, McKenzie just coming on for Adam Ritson. I'll tell you one thing I have noticed is the big 10 metres. That should suit the Parramatta side a little bit more with their ball players Smith and Dimmick.
Well, we saw the hit put on by Peter Johnston a minute ago. You've got to learn. Players will learn. Chad Harris will learn when you're running at blokes. You don't run straight into them. You've got to put a bit of a jink on, a step, a swerve, a sway, anything to get away from them.
You had all of them, didn't you, Paul?
Did I what?
It'll be one heck of a run. Peter Johnston, not the player you run into. Like I mentioned, that 10 metres. He's a good young referee, probably one of the best of the young brigade, Mark Oaten.
A good run from Chris King. A little bit surprised that Adam Ritson has been taken off. It's been 10 minutes. So using the interchange is going to be something coaches will do, as Jason Smith can't beat the tackle of GEORGALLIS. Ritson, as he generally does, is always proving a handful for the defence.
A wide pass out of dummy half from Raper to Dimmick, and now further on for Barnes and inside for McCRACKEN. The defence read it well though. Willis just stood his ground. Coleman up in the front line as well. And finishing it off was Chad Harris. They're on the Magpies 20. This is the replacement player, McKenzie, who gets spun around in the tackle. That is the fifth. He was taken by CAPOVILLA for Dimmick. He has the kicking job. Across field comes the kick. Now, is it too deep? I don't think it is for DAVEY, who smells it. A try goes begging for the Eels.
Oh, can you believe it? Scott DAVEY virtually fell into his arms and he couldn't control it. Lovely kick, pointing the toe. Oh, there was some drama there. McGUINNESS sort of got his hand in there, so hard to take, but unlucky for the Eels.
Yeah, lovely drop punt there from Jim Dimmick. Good vision. Looking for his winger. Fast going astray. MESCIA does a good job to pick up Billy Dunn. Real opportunity there, and in first grade, you look back on those chances and say, well, it's probably one that we could have come up with.
Magpies, 10 inside their own half, and now they've coughed up the pass. It's now coughed up in turn by Parramatta, and it is play on for Western Suburbs. Ron Hilditch wouldn't be happy with that.
No, Aaron Raper there just going for too much. He did a good job to take the intercept and then tried to keep play going. Pass was well and truly astray to his support player. Chad Harris takes the ball into Parramatta territory, and Craig Coleman going to the line looking for support, finds GEORGALLIS, who makes a break.
And GEORGALLIS around the corner. Great pass to Leeds now for Harris, and he's creamed over the top, but he saw him coming. McCRACKEN, and he prepared himself to be hit. Now the penalty against Jarrod McCRACKEN, who's not happy.
You would think that Andrew Leeds would opt to kick for goal on this occasion, a much easier kick. Jarrod McCRACKEN, some good cover defence from him, but he just went on too long in the tackle. It is important when you come up in cover defence after you've been busted to try and slow the play the ball down as much as possible. But on that occasion, McCRACKEN going too long for the referee's liking.
They're playing with a lot of skill, aren't they, Western Suburbs? Obviously the skill coaches out there at West have been busy in the off-season. Lots of interchange of passing, some good short balls around the corner stuff. It's good to watch, good rugby league. Jason Alshan there, a former Western Canterbury player, and Tommy in the sandy colour here on the walkie-talkie. He was one of the greatest players during the 70s.
And the most impressive thing about West, Paul, for mine, is the likes of Coleman and GEORGALLIS. They go to the line, and that immediately puts pressure on the defence.
And Andrew Leeds, no troubles with the kick, so the Magpies are on the board, and they they lead this Battle of the West. Western Suburbs 2, Parramatta 0.
Western Suburbs 2, Parramatta 0.
Mahon to get us back underway. And kick that only gets as far as the 20. This is Chad Harris for the Magpies. They're up by 2 points to 0. MESCIA now away for a replacement player. That's Damien Kennedy on in 15. He's replaced Billy Dunn.
Just little things like that are important in a game. It was a very poor restart from Scott Mahon. By giving the catcher 20 metre start from his own line, it really sets up the set of 6 for the Magpies now. You've got to make sure that the kick does go deep and force the opponents to come out of their own danger area in a much tougher fashion.
What we are seeing is plenty of offloads from Western Suburbs. There's another one, GEORGALLIS to Pearson. That would be of great concern to Ron HILDITCH. It's no one specific player, it's any number of the Magpies players getting passes away and tackles. There's a deft kick from Craig Coleman, angled for touch. Doesn't find it, Mahon is back there. He goes cross-country infield, then runs into a shoulder of MESCIA. And 15 metres out from his own line, Chad Harris was the first chaser. Parramatta down by 2 points to 0. Scott Davey taking some of that pressure off the forwards. This time it's Freeman. Where is the support for it? No forward with his hand up. So they've used up 3 tackles, the Eels, and they're only just outside their own 20. GEORGALLIS is struggling to disentangle himself from the feet of Freeman. Dimmick decides to go hard and straight.
Yeah, that's exactly what was needed. Nobody else was getting in there. Now Peter Johnson winds up, takes on Cherry MESCIA. Looks like he might have hurt Johnson the tackle. No, he's up to his feet on the last.
Dimmick, he can't get the kick away. Now Freeman, Raper forced the kick. So their third choice on that occasion, but that was because of the good pressure from the Magpies. This is Andrew LEEDS back. And there's been an early push this season that if there is any opening at all, Andrew LEEDS should be considered for representative football, but there's a fair queue in front of him. The likes of Brasher and Brett Mullins to name just 2.
One thing about Andrew LEEDS, you know that if he made a representative team, he would not let you down.
CAPOVILLA off the field for the Magpies as LANGMACK threw a lovely short pass to Harris. Justin DOOLEY on in 17 for the Magpies as LANGMACK at dummy half that time, Coleman, and he brings that man into play. That's Justin DOOLEY. Magpies on the last tackle with LEEDS, going for a centre field bomb, causing Mahon to run forward. He's up and takes it well. GEORGALLIS tried a flying leap to intercept the ball, and he came up with a clean miss. Freeman across for Davey. Nice cutting tackle from Coleman on the Parramatta 40. Now with McKenzie. Spirited performance from both teams in this match as Raper, rush out of dummy half, tried to burrow his way through the defence, and now a penalty against Dooley and also Harris.
Yeah, the crowd really went for that one. You hear them booing and hissing and urging the referee to give the penalty for the laying around in the tackle. And Scott Mahon won't take the kick for goal. They'll take a kick for touch and try and get inside that west quarter somewhere they haven't seen much of.
Sterlo, one of the more vocal Parramatta crowds for some time as well.
Well, it's a good sign, isn't it? The crowds have been diminishing here last decade as Peter Johnson takes a great charge inside 10 metres.
And Raper follows it up with Chris King. Good tackle over the top, Justin Dooley.
Dimmick's again the man they'll be looking for in this area.
And here he is on the left, Jim Dimmick. He thought about holding up the pass, and WILLIS did a good job in defence. He's still able to offload for Johnston. Now for Mahon. The pass is knocked down. I think it was by Kevin McGUINNESS.
He had an unmarked man on his outside. Can't believe that Mahon couldn't just draw and pass. Real chance there again for Scott Davey. If Scott Mahon just draws the opposing winger and offloads.
I'm just looking at the Parramatta coach, Ronnie HILDITCH, sitting in front of us, headbutting a rail. He's not happy.
So now it's Justin Dooley for the Magpies. They lead by 2 points to 0. Dooley's dropped that. Well, penalty against King. And McKenzie, I thought he may have just dropped it cold.
did. They've got a lucky one there. There's plenty of people on the Peter Sterling Hill today, Bossy. It's pretty full, obviously, the cheap seats in the Parramatta Stadium.
Very attractive hill it is too, Paul. A little bit like what the number 8 cubicle at Brookvale Oval.
The toilet.
That's the one.
You guys go. Dooley's coughed it up. Or it's a good tackle from King. And Parramatta have come up with it. They've been forced out of the hands off the arm of King, but it's play on in any case. Matthew Spence now on the field for Parramatta. And I can also tell you David Woods is now out there in 33, and he gets a cheer from the fans as McKenzie, taken around the legs by LANGMACK, tries to get the quick play the ball. He does so. Spence and Freeman, dummies to RITSON, now picks up David Woods. Back from an ankle injury and certainly giving that ankle a workout with his first touch. 25 metres out from the Magpies line. Looking for their first points of the day. Freeman away to King. Tackled 20 metres out from the Western Suburbs posts on the 5th tackle. Freeman tries the grubber kick off the legs of Andrew Willis. And almost a turnover. In fact, it was the 15 Kennedy who came up with the ball. And now MESCIA out a dummy half, and this is good work from the Magpies. Quick turnover, and they're back up to the 40. This time Dooley. His instructions obvious. Justin Dooley just keep getting that ball and run hard and straight. Now Kennedy in 4 tackles and now 45 metres out from the Parramatta line. Left they've got Coleman, then GEORGALLIS. Back for Coleman, inside for Pearson. It's a play that's worked for them a number of times already this season. GEORGALLIS, last tackle, tries a kick over the top. No trouble at all for Scott Mahon at the back end. A little bit of open space here for Mahon. Even more space though for Nathan Barnes down the left side. Dooley comes across and Dooley tackles him. 10 out of 10, Justin Dooley.
Great tackle, Justin Dooley.
Scott Mahon follows up for the Eels. Tackle around the legs by Andrew Willis. Barnes is spread out to the right side. MAYBON through short ball that time for Spence. He tries to wrestle his way free of MESCIA. Again, it's the Magpies having to defend their own danger zone. MAYBON, switch around the ruck for Freeman. Then he goes back to the side where MAYBON is, and he picks up Rod MAYBON. 15 out from the Western Suburbs line. Dooley and Coleman, the tacklers. To the right side with Dimmick. He's got King on his shoulder. Throws the short pass. No, a dummy from Dimmick. Then back for McKenzie. McKenzie unloads back for Dimmick. And wrapped up 10 metres out from the Western Suburbs line. 5th tackle. They're all to the left, Parramatta. Freeman dummied on the inside. He's going to be trapped in possession.
Oh, that's a very poor play from an experienced player on the last. As Andrew pointed out, big numbers to the left, very deep. Whether the little halfback didn't know it was the last tackle or not, he should have done.
I think we give credit to the Western Suburbs defence. It gets up very, very quickly off the line there. Should have passed there, but he went for a dummy. And now Western through Willis.
Darren Willis, past Mahon and up over halfway, still going. Darren Willis. That was a bust from his own 10-metre line. Western Suburbs get a roll on with Coleman. Parramatta was all offside, Woods included. And Oaten's allowed play to continue. He's got them back 11 or 12 metres this time round. May have been one tackle too late as Dooley is tackled. 28 metres out from the Eels line. Good match of football, this one. Western Suburbs leading by 2 points to 0. Now Bill Dunn tackled on the 20 by Marty McKenzie, and that is 5 tackles. End-to-end action as Coleman tries the kick into the in-goal area. Mahon has it covered. He got a good bounce, the fullback Scotty Mahon. And Parramatta back to the field of play.
The first up defence of both teams has been a little bit lacking at times. Quite a few busts already in this match, but the cover defence has been outstanding from both teams. This was the break. Simple effort straight up the middle there from Darren Willis, who's got good speed, stepped out of 2. That really gave his team some momentum, something that the Eels are looking for now. Rod MAYBON out of dummy half. He can't find a support player. Now the last.
5th tackle with Woods a dummy half again for Dimmick, kicking for the eastern side of the ground. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, headed for the sideline and finds it. Only just. So here at Parramatta Stadium, the Magpies lead the Eels by 2 points to 0. 22nd minute mark. The scrum 10 metres inside the Western Suburbs half. The tackle from David Woods front on. So Western Suburbs have withstood all that Parramatta can throw at them, and I guess you could say likewise Parramatta of Western Suburbs. No tries in the match, but no shortage in excitement. And the Magpies from their own halfway, or that's a good point. I think they share halfway. Guys, help me out.
Oh, hey, no, we're just
let that one go.
We were just letting you.
That was the double uppercut.
Dig your own trench.
Yeah, fair enough. And Kennedy was tackled on the 40. Parramatta's end of the field. Willis threw a pass. It's hit the deck. Fielded by Dunn and 6 to go, says Mark Oaten. And RITSON able to finish off Bill Dunn. 30 out from the Eels line.
Real chance for the Magpies here. It's a tied Parramatta defence at the moment. They've had to do a lot of scrambling, a lot of chasing in the last 5 minutes. Western Suburbs, they can sniff a try.
Coleman away to Dooley. Big tackle coming from an angle was Jim Dimmick. And took Dooley out of the match, but only briefly. They're still going to LANGMACK. Flick pass for McGUINNESS. Miraculous pass from Paul LANGMACK, like shelling peas for Paul LANGMACK, and Kevin McGUINNESS scores a 4-pointer for the Magpies.
Yes, Paul LANGMACK, beautiful ball skills, but it was the tired inside defence of Parramatta that opened the hole up. Lovely sleight of hand from the experienced campaigner. And you'll have a look as they come to the open side. Ball now going to LANGMACK. As we freeze play there, this player coming across didn't think there was any danger. By the time the pass was thrown, it was Chris King. The reaction was too late, and young McGUINNESS runs in another try. He's getting a few this year.
Yeah, Chris King a little bit slow, but I don't think he would have got there anyway. That was just an unbelievable ball there from Paul LANGMACK, and McGUINNESS has got plenty of speed, plenty of pace, and he waltzed over for that one. The West have been playing very impressively all season and again today. They've got so many players who can break the line. The Willis brothers, Pearson, the McGUINNESS brothers.
They made the point in their opening game as Andrew LEEDS is successful with the conversion call, that from number, say, 2 through to number 6 for them, and that's Willis, 2 McGUINNESS's, Pearson and Andrew Willis. They're probably the quickest backline in the competition. And this player may be the quickest of all.
Well, he really put himself in a position to get that ball, didn't he, Kevin McGUINNESS? He saw the chance and took it. And, of course, the Willises aren't related. They've just got the same name.
So I've had my own halfway, or on their own halfway. You've got the Willis brothers. But Sturlo, he won't make a mistake.
I love working with this.
It's got Mahon from the shared halfway line. Down to LEEDS on the 10, so a little deeper that time. And coming back with the ball is Andrew HICK, former Cronulla Shark. He went off to the Adelaide Rams and ends up back here. Dooley's dropped the ball, not for the first time either. Now Johnston with it. So the good work of that try could be squandered. West having to defend.
Parramatta looking to hit back straight away. No Gary Freeman out there. He's been interchanged. I would assume that Rod Maybon has moved into the half-back position and David Woods to 5'8".
That's the way it is as they line up. Maybon to Woods. He was going across field from the moment he got that ball. Couldn't pick off a runner, and Coleman instead picked off Woods. There's Maybon away for Dimmick. Dimmick then to Johnston standing wide. So left and right, they're switching the direction of their attack, the Parramatta Eels. Raper in a dummy half with Spence. They're running one out. Where's the support? It's there in Mahon, and then he drops it. Just a fraction too late. Steve Roach on the sideline. Tremendous battle, this.
Yeah, it's been a great game. The team that can hold the ball will probably get away with this one, but Gary Freeman suffering from food poisoning last night. That's the reason why he's off.
He was fairly impressive a couple of weeks ago against the Crushers, Matthew Spence, and he's done a couple of good things today. That was just, he's had no luck there, but he's looking to offload. He was surrounded by 3 players, and unfortunately Scott Mahon couldn't take the pass, otherwise he was under the sticks, but he's one to watch. Matthew Spence, he's a Kiwi, isn't he? Is that right?
Yes, young player from New Zealand. He's been quite impressive since coming over. Steve GEORGALLIS feeding that scrum with Craig Coleman. It's like he's in the blood bin. He's got a nick on the chin. Now Cherry Mesha finds Justin Dooley, who's been very involved since coming on. Good grass-cutting tackle there from Rod Maybon. Again, who's been great in defence.
This is Andrew HICK. Tackled 5 metres inside his own half, but Western Suburbs would be well pleased with this. 8 points to 0. And there's a big tackle from Jason Smith. And Jim Dimmick as LANGMACK taken again by Jason Smith over the top. And a helper. And a good one in that in Martin McKenzie. This is the 5th tackle for Western Suburbs. Coming out of the line quickly was David Woods and stopped the kick of Leeds, but now Woods is hurt. Penalty goes in the meantime to Parramatta, but Woods in a bit of trouble, and your heart goes in your mouth every time that happens.
Yeah, it's the ankle again. A major problem for him for much of his career, that along with hamstrings. Let's have a look and see if he falls awkwardly. If anything should be hurting, it should be the backside.
It was the penalty. LANGMACK involved in that tackle, so only making 10 metres with the kick for the line. 6 penalties so far awarded in the game as Johnston runs into some strong arm defence from the Magpies. LANGMACK was first in with Billy Dunn. Raper away for Spence. A right foot step as Spence gets to the line. CAPOVILLA around the legs. DOOLEY over the top. And Parramatta well positioned, 22 metres out from the line, but still no points. And Jason Smith advances the football another 5 metres. Left and right they can go. DYMOCK on the left. They go to the right with Freeman. Then away for MAYBON. Infield comes Barnes and locked up by the defence. Again reading the situation well, not panicking, just marking up as DYMOCK gets a pass on the bounce, the littlest, smallest rubber you'll ever see. The Western Suburbs come up with it with WILLIS. Not the kick DYMOCK was hoping for.
Tiny grubber, that one. Never really even got through the line. Well picked up by Wests. And I think they're playing for time there. Everyone's getting a bit tired.
Yeah, I think it was a sign of frustration that the Western Suburbs defence is so good. And
it has been good, hasn't it? There's been only probably one line break, if I can remember, from Parramatta through the West defence. It's been outstanding.
So at the 29-minute mark, it's Western Suburbs 8 leading Parramatta 0. So Western Suburbs with a restart, 25 metres out from their own line. On their own 30. Western Suburbs almost up to halfway. That was a big run from Darren CAPOVILLA, who's growing in confidence as this match goes along. And now GEORGALLIS away from Spence. He unloaded to Kevin McGUINNESS. He crawled through the tackle of Barnes and has a second crack at them. And getting close to that sideline, Davey and Barnes make the tackle. Time his brother Ken was a dummy half. Leeds into first receiver. Now with GEORGALLIS, he went low and then high with the ball and then ended up retaining possession. Last tackle for Western Suburbs with Andrew Leeds. Freeman was the chaser out of marker. Again, Mahn's under some pressure and Pearson went through, not really attacking the ball, was just prepared to come up with a tackle on Scott Mahon. He's been fairly safe at the back today for Parramatta.
Yeah, he's just about been Parramatta's best, really. He's good under the high ball. Peter Johnson now charging into the fray, but this Western Suburbs defence is relentless, going up both sides of the ruck. They've been the team that looks more likely to make the break, make the bust. Parramatta now looking to string together some possession. Jason Smith, the cutout's a good ball to Barnes, who is troubled by a hamstring without any doubt.
Oh, what about the intercept of Brandon Pearson? Played it cool. Took the ball, could see that Barnes was headed for the sideline, so he positioned himself well between Barnes and his teammates. Now GEORGALLIS able to field a pass on the bounce, tackled by Spence right on halfway. DYMOCK gave him a little facial and GEORGALLIS a little slow in getting up. CAPOVILLA taken well that time by Chris King. MAYBON was over the top. Western Suburbs with Cherry Mesha. Played for Country Origin last year. This is a chance to make it a double this year. There's Paul Bella, another replacement on for Western Suburbs. So they've used all 4 players off their bench as LANGMACK with it on the last, then away for Ken McGUINNESS, then to Coleman. Craig Coleman as right winger gets a forward pass when he thought he was in the corner.
Unlucky, but nice play from LANGMACK. Had the option to kick the football. He held it in both hands, shaped the kick and then threw the long ball. I think that pass might have been all right, that one not.
Yeah, I think he might have been pulled up because Tucker Coleman's jumped the fence to come back onto the field.
Jason Smith now off for Parramatta. There's Peter Johnston. Hard and straight he goes. Braced himself for the impact of the tackle, and there's 3 defenders there. 10 metres inside their own half. Freeman across to MAYBON. Barnes has been well involved. Left and right side of the park. Freeman for Dimmock. Now with Ritson. He gets the right arm free for Dimmock. There's an overlap here on the left. Spence throws a forward pass for Davey. Not called by referee or touch judge. And Freeman wrapped up 5 metres inside the Magpies half now. Kevin McGuinness made the tackle. Dimmock across for Raper. Raper kicks for the side. Now he's got the chase coming through. Parramatta don't get the bounce they wanted. Russell WYER. And a knock on against the Eels.
I just saw Jason Smith come off, Pete. How do you rate him? I just don't know if he's going as good as he was last year with the Canterbury club. Maybe he's taking a bit longer than they thought to fit in here.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that, Paul. His involvement in the only game that I've seen so far at the Crushers wasn't the Jason Smith we know. He made quite a few very simple mistakes. And yeah, maybe he's just, I don't know if he's 100% fit there. You can see Dr. Michael Johnson just having a look at the knee area. I think that could be a problem, the fact that he is a little bit short of fitness at the moment, and it's affecting his play. The one thing, Paul, I know we've spoken about it a fair bit with this interchange, I could not think of anything worse than being brought on and off constantly during a game of football.
I can't agree with it, but the coaches love it. They get the fresh men on when someone gets tired. And you won't hear of any coaches complaining about it, but I think that a few of the players do.
The Magpies with Chad Harris on halfway. When we looked at Jason Smith on the sideline, David Woods was at his side, and Woods has got an ice pack on the ankle. So the comeback was short-lived. Let's hope it's not too bad. The recurrence of the injury as CAPOVILLA was taken sideways in the tackle.
Yeah, they look short on the left-hand side again, the Eels, and GEORGALLIS has read that, but he's kicked on the last.
And he's gone for the high ball. Russell WYER's there with Mahon. No communication between the two Parramatta players, and it's WYER who comes down with it. But there was definitely no call, or if there was, they both said mine. And Chris King with a 25 out from his own line. Here it is, WYER. He was determined to take it, but so too was Mahon.
Second tackle there from Darren CAPOVILLA has been called by the referee. Both teams looking to slow the ball down, which you must do in the modern game. And unfortunately for the Eels, from this penalty from Darren CAPOVILLA, they fail to find touch. And Andrew LEEDS, big collision with Jim Dimmock.
They tried to keep up the continuity of the play with a quick kick for the line, but it didn't come within 10 metres of the sideline.
Well, when Leeds went into that tackle, he got smashed. He didn't feel it first, but then he tried to run, and he went down like a bag of spuds, and he's still down. A big hit from Dimmock.
They just said spuds.
There's a way for Kevin McGuinness. He offloaded. The smallest man on the field was able to stand in a tackle and offload. As Western Suburbs continue to pass, this is great football. Away on the outside to WILLIS. He comes back inside from Freeman and tackled. 12 metres out from the Parramatta line. The Magpies on fire now with the 15 Kennedy wrapped up there around the legs. Last tackle for Western Suburbs to the left side with LANGMACK. GEORGALLIS, then for WILLIS. He steps inside Freeman, and Western Suburbs, they build up to that try. They laid it brick by brick and come up with their second 4-pointer for the match.
And made it look easy in the end, but the skill factor, they're rating a 9.5 on the skill factor scale out of 10. They're popping balls all over the place. Parramatta, look at that line. That's disgraceful. Coming off your line, sprinting up, putting a lot of pressure on Gary Freeman out there. He couldn't control WILLIS. And this West team are playing so well.
Just beautiful work there. The flick pass from dummy half, the quick hands from LANGMACK and GEORGALLIS. And then the speed man, Darren WILLIS, showing good evasive skill to come inside Gary Freeman, who'd just come up with a try-saver on him on the previous play. But you will not see, as Paul points out, a better display of skill in such a short space. They've only got to travel 5 metres, but to travel that 5 metres, they've come up with beautiful ball skills.
Yeah, well, the movement before that, the backline play before that, there was blokes just standing, offloading. Parramatta are not putting the men on the ground. And that's a cardinal sin. Andrew LEEDS still down receiving attention. It was a big hit from Dimmock.
Yeah, and that's a shame for Andrew LEEDS and his team, not the fact that...
Now he cops it, and then he tries to run and goes, uh-oh, geez, that hurt.
Well, of course, he would be taking this conversion attempt if he was fit, but in that picture there, he is far from 100%. And in fact, he'll now limp from the field, and it's Brandon Pearson who will attempt the conversion. And it's an important conversion, as they all are, but this one could put the Western Suburbs side further than 2 converted tries in front, so the opponents would have to score 3 times at least.
So Pearson with his kick, 12 metres in from touch. On the eastern side of Parramatta Stadium, certainly struck it well, but just to the side of the uprights. Had plenty of power in the kick. For the Magpies, 2 tries to 0 and 12-0 the scoreline. So much confidence.
It's just beautiful stuff, from especially Coleman and LANGMACK and GEORGALLIS. They created the 3-on-2 on the blind side.
Steve GEORGALLIS is having a monster game out there. You know, he's in everything. He's taking the ball up. He's coordinating with LANGMACK and Coleman when they're not around to sort of head him in the right direction. He's having a great game.
GEORGALLIS coming off plenty of football. He had an off-season in England with Wakefield. That shortened season before they changed to a summer competition. As this is Damien Kennedy from the kickoff. Again, Parramatta, a shallow kickoff. And Western Suburbs get a platform from 15 metres inside their own half. There doesn't seem to be any thought to trying to trap them inside the 20 with a deep kickoff. As CAPOVILLA. Tom RAUDONIKIS, and CAPOVILLA himself would be happy with his efforts against his former club, as GEORGALLIS taken awkwardly in the tackle. They forced him over the top, JOHNSTON. And also Chris King, but the Magpies continue to make ground. That time LANGMACK not playing the role of ball player, just hitting it hard and straight. Coleman now kicking for the corner, beautifully placed by Coleman. Is it a little too deep? No, WYER has to take it from back inside his in-goal area. There is an army of Magpies defenders there to meet him, and they trap him there. Line drop out to Parramatta.
And we may see more points coming from West as they get another set of 6 with a minute and a half remaining before the referee will blow his whistle. That's great defence. Look at them chase in there.
Well, there's barely a facet of play that Western Suburbs are ahead of Parramatta in this match. So line drop out, and Parramatta trying to soak up the seconds inside the final 2 of the first half, and it's a wobbly line drop out. Fielded by Ken McGUINNESS, who hasn't seen a lot of the football, but he's as dangerous as anyone out there for the Magpies. He's able to offload for his brother Kevin. 2 former students of Sarah Redfern High School, those 2.
You're thinking, Andrew, that Craig Coleman's been around many years. He'd be maybe tossing up a field goal and a tackle or 2 to take him to the 13-0 lead.
He's certainly got the spot for it. I'm sure Andrew LEEDS would have been the player who'd be having that shot. There's GEORGALLIS, they've spread it wide. Now WILLIS taken and pushed back in field. So if they are going to have a shot on this play, they're a good 30 metres out. And they go left with LANGMACK. He holds up the pass for Pearson, and Pearson couldn't handle. So any thought of a field goal is now gone, and Parramatta with the ball. They haven't seen much of it in the last 5 or 6 minutes. The Magpies lead by 12-0. As Raper is tackled, and that tackle from WILLIS brings us to the end of 40 minutes of football that the home fans won't be too happy with. Western Suburbs, 2 tries, 2 very good 4-pointers. A couple of goals into the bargain. They lead Parramatta. Raper and also Chris King there. Trio of Parramatta defenders away for Chad Harris. RITSON comes up with a tackle. Of course, Western Suburbs have already shown they can lead from the front, but having said that, they also led Brisbane up to half-time at Campbelltown just a fortnight ago.
Hard to lead from anywhere else.
Good point again. Support not lacking here. Coleman back for LEEDS. And a good kick from Andrew LEEDS. He's well over the head of Davey, although the bounce, or Davey knew what was happening. He was going to bounce back 10 metres straight into his arms. And McGUINNESS goes high in the tackle. Gets an assist from Ken McGUINNESS. Steve Roach on the sideline. You've been to the rooms at halftime.
Yes, Parramatta not real happy with their kicking game in the first half. They've got to concentrate on that a little bit more aggression in their tackles. They're allowing Western Suburbs to stand in the tackles. They must work after the ball's left them on the outside. They've got to keep moving on the inside. We saw a try result in that in the first half for Western Suburbs. Tommy RAUDONIKIS wants his players to keep going to the fringe of the ruck. They're having plenty of luck there. Bit of sloppy ball control after they've made the break. They've got to tidy that up a bit. An attack on the right-hand side of the field. I think that's where the Parramatta defence is having problems. And LEEDS is back on for the Western Suburbs side.
That's good news for the Magpies. 5th tackle, Gary Freeman, a centre field bomb. There doesn't seem to be any direction with the kick as GEORGALLIS let it bounce, and it comes into the hands of Chad Harris. It was really a dicey option from Steve GEORGALLIS because it almost bounced back into his face. And there it is, GEORGALLIS now for Andrew LEEDS. He looks to have recovered, and Johnston makes the tackle out wide. 10 metres inside their own half, Western Suburbs, with Kevin McGuinness. He's jockey-sized, and he cops what a jockey probably would if you ran into three big forwards. RITSON and King, the prime defenders there. Coleman inside for Dunn. He trapped 8 metres inside his own half. RITSON again making the tackle for Parramatta with Coleman. Nice short pass, picking off CAPOVILLA. Trapped on halfway. He'd be very happy with his first half efforts. 10 tackles, 10 hit-ups. And only his second match in the top grade for Western Suburbs. This is Mahon from the back. I don't know about you, Peter. I know it was an arm injury last year, but has Mahon lost any pace?
Oh, he's probably got lost a yard or so over the years, I suppose. He's been at the club for quite a while now, but I think his performance out there this afternoon has been, well, he's been the best Parramatta player. Positional play's been very good, and that's probably the most important thing for a fullback. Adam RITSON now takes on the defence, and there will be a penalty against the Western Suburbs defenders here. Billy Dunn, the man responsible. Like, I'm just wondering, it doesn't look as though there's much up here, but is there any wind advantage in this second 40 minutes?
Yes, it'll probably be favouring Parramatta at this stage, Peter.
The replay of that tackle. Bill Dunn had his arm basically around the face of RITSON all the way to the ground. So, a tough job for referee Mark Oaten to award the penalty to Parramatta. So they start this set of 6 inside Western Suburbs territory, and RITSON is taken front on by CAPOVILLA. And Raper away for King, and this is better stuff from the Eels. 10-metre gain. Now 25 metres out from the Western Suburbs line, and that crowd getting a little noisy behind the Parramatta team with McCRACKEN held up in the tackle of Coleman. It's a good job, Craig Coleman, on a bigger player. Freeman for Dimmick. He picks off Jason Smith, and the Western Suburbs defence, they keep covering up. Brandon Pearson with a tackle that time. Parramatta right on the 20 with Freeman. Inside ball for Mahon. And Pearson it was who again was coming across to shut down that movement. Last tackle for Parramatta with Dimmick. He kicks through the line for the corner. It's all on here for Parramatta. Went high Barnes, but higher still was McGuinness to get the ball back for Leeds like a pinball machine in the in-goal area. But Western Suburbs have saved the day yet again.
That was incredible how McGuinness got that ball. That's just wizardry. It was unbelievable stuff. There was 2 Parramatta players there, and he just hung on to it and then offloaded to Leeds. Oh, they bar nothing, the mighty Maggies.
Watching the replay, I thought Nathan Barnes tried to headbutt the ball. He ducked his head rather than put his arms up to catch it. I think it might have hit his noggin as well before it got to McGuinness. In turn, Western Suburbs have used up 5 tackles, and they're almost back to the 30, and Leeds with the job of getting them out of trouble. This kick straight down centre field. Again, it bounces away from Mahon. Let's gauge his pace here. He comes back only at half speed, steps away from McGuinness. McGuinness makes the tackle, then picks up Davey. And Davey trapped around about 1 metre inside his own half. The tackler was LANGMACK. Freeman away for Johnston. Parramatta in search of that extra gear. Well, was that knocked out of the hand by Bill Dunn? Oaten rules the knock on against Peter Johnston. I think he was looking to offload.
Yes, they may well have played at the football here, the Magpies, but it was poor ball security from Peter Johnston. He was trying to free the arm to offload. I think that's play on. I think he should be penalised for bad ball security.
Hold it there, fellas, hold it there. Give spy down there.
Troubles with his scrum for referee Oaten. Peter Johnston not able to pack into the scrum. Raper was down on his knees, but Western Suburbs win the ball. That's the main thing. Pearson lost a boot in that run as he went across field. Tackled by McCRACKEN. Now WILLIS. Back in field he comes. One of the Magpies try scorers from that first half. Cherry Mesha away for Harris. Now 5 metres inside Parramatta territory with LANGMACK. LANGMACK turns a well-timed inside ball for Billy Dunn, and all the time Western Suburbs advancing their position on the field, making 10 metres on that play with Coleman now. Coleman, another short pass for Leeds. He was taken around the chest by Dimmick. That's the last tackle for the Magpies. Coleman will have the kick this time. He was thinking about the sideline, then kicks it down the centre of the ground. It's into the in-goal area for Mahon. The chasers have stopped. They've been told they're offside. Not so Ken McGuinness. Overhead pass, a daring ball there for Davey, now back for Barnes. And Parramatta, 3 passes trying to get themselves out of trouble, and only back to the 10-metre line.
I'll get a penalty which will help here, and I don't think it's particularly daring. We're talking about first-grade footballers here. It was just a simple matter of picking up an unmarked man, but it was an important play because they could not afford to be caught in the in-goal area once again. Saw it at the other end moments ago. That was a little bit more daring, I suppose, from McGUINNESS to LEEDS. Now Parramatta, again, not experiencing good field position, and that was a problem for them in the first half as well.
Western Suburbs looking for a double here today. They won the reserve grade match earlier, 28 points to 10, and they lead by 12 points to 0 right now. 47-minute mark with RITSON. As he lost the ball, Mark Oaten's going to award a penalty. Well, Western Suburbs were saying he dropped it.
And he got a call from the far touch judge. He's talking into his flag, which of course has a microphone in it to assist the referee. And he spotted something in the tackle. The penalty 7-3 in favour of the Eels.
Parramatta needing to score next, and Johnston sets them up in this set of 6. A 15-metre gain. Gain for Peter Johnston as DYMOCK dummied inside to RITSON. The defence having none of it. There's Andrew WILLIS it was who came over the top. Down below was CAPOVILLA. Now Freeman across for MAYBON. MAYBON brings Mahon into the play. Now inside for McCRACKEN. And Pearson, who's made some crucial tackles in this second half, come up with another one. MAYBON for Freeman. Then for Smith. Slows the play down now for DYMOCK. And DYMOCK taken front on by Pearson yet again. In front of the Western Suburbs posts. Raper. RITSON dummies to the inside. Western Suburbs defence doesn't hold this time. Away from McCRACKEN to Russell WYER. The Eels are on the board, and perhaps the alarm bells just in the distance ringing for the Magpies. 12 points to 4.
Well, you'd be crazy if you didn't follow Adam RITSON all afternoon while he's on the paddock and just waiting for one of these offloads, because he's capable of doing it every time he carries the football. The dummy inside attracts 3 defenders, and that's what opened up the passage for Jarrod, McCRACKEN and Russell WYER out wide. And that's the attraction of a big man who can offload.
He's really starting to make some inroads, making his mark on the game too. That's about his 5th or 6th time he's taken the ball up in the second half. On this occasion, they struck pay dirt. Every time he's looked dangerous too, he has looked to offload, and Russell WYER's had a pretty quiet game, but he's on the spot there to get the 4-pointer. Nathan Barnes, haven't seen him do much goal kicking in the past. At Newcastle, of course, they've got the Johns boys up there. He's got a chance to add the extras from out wide.
Yeah, good work from Andrew LEEDS there as the last line of defence. He couldn't come up with a tackle, but he made sure that WYER didn't improve the scoring position. And that was always going to be a little bit of a problem for the Eels in this match. Nathan Barnes, he hasn't scored many points in his career because he doesn't kick often. Plenty of pressure here. He knows that if he can put this one over to be back within a converted try, it's a big plus.
So as a first starter, not a bad first attempt, just to the side of the posts. But it's an 8-point advantage for the Magpies, 12 points to 4. Now in the setup of that try, keep in mind Adam RITSON, we've been singing his praises, for 3 seasons now. He's still only 19 years of age. City Origin representative last year, and work like that could see him back in that City jumper this year.
Well, even go one step further with him, I believe, if he keeps this sort of form up that he's shown in the second half today, a State of Origin possible jumper there, maybe even from the bench.
Andrew LEEDS, Western Suburbs, only their 2nd kick-off of the match. And down for Freeman, and here he comes again, Adam RITSON, wound up and ready to go, taken front on by Justin DOOLEY, who's back on the field for Western Suburbs. Johnston leading the way again. Getting over that advantage line time and time again. Freeman, well, they've found the extra gear, it would seem, Parramatta right at the moment. They've increased the tempo. Now out of dummy half goes Raper. Good set of 6 to follow up the try. But still down by 8 points. DYMOCK up to the line. Taken high, and now they get him to ground. LANGMACK was in there. Last tackle here for Parramatta with Raper. He kicks across field. LEEDS has it covered. On the first bounce, he fields it 8 metres out from his own line. First man there was King. Away for King McGUINNESS. And McGUINNESS taken high by Barnes, and down below Johnston. Hit hard around the waist. This is Kevin McGUINNESS, the first try scorer of the day for Western Suburbs. Jerry Mesha with Coleman for Dooley. Probably the biggest man in the Western Suburbs pack. He'll be over the 6-foot mark as Dunn. Oh, Jason Smith went high. Well, that didn't hurt Billy Dunn at all. He sort of brushed aside from the tackle, but it was a careless attempted tackle from Jason Smith, and he'll just cop a caution here from Mark Oaten just to keep him in check.
Yeah, contact was high, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, caution on the run for that one. Why hold the game up? It didn't hurt anyone. It wasn't that bad.
What can Western Suburbs do with this set of 6? There's Kennedy. And they're 40 metres out from the Parramatta line. Mesha for Dooley. Just settling for the first few tackles. Was wound into the ground with that tackle, Dooley, by Johnston, Raper and Ritson, as this is Dunn who stumbles awkwardly, 30 metres out from the Parramatta line. A little slow to get to his feet as well. Trouble there, maybe right ankle or knee for Billy Dunn, as now trying to break the line. That was dangerous. Gary Freeman hanging on in the tackle. Bell was good work to centre. Coleman, wider for Langmack. Langmack on for Dooley. The defence was up quick in Barnes, and he makes the tackle one-on-one. Good play from Nathan Barnes for Parramatta. 5th tackle for Western Suburbs. 20 metres out with GEORGALLIS. Put down by Pearson. GEORGALLIS tries to force the knock on. He has, but it will be a changeover. So Parramatta in possession, 15 out from their own line. Was that the right play from GEORGALLIS there? It almost caught Pearson unawares, or the timing of the pass.
Well, I've got no problems running the football on the last tackle. The one thing that Western Suburbs are very good at is getting the ball into the in-goal area on the last and stringing together a couple of sets of 6. Well, we saw them have 23 uses of the football in the first half. Again, it's Parramatta with the football at their own end of the field, and that's the problem for them.
And Marty McKenzie is back on the field for Parramatta. He's replaced Adam Ritson, who I'm sure we'll see again before full time. Dimmick kicks over the top, turns Willis around. The chase is led by Barnes. Willis is covered up. Knocked back, says referee Mark Oaten. That tells the story what they think. There's now Coleman across for Ken McGuinness. Swapping positions there with Kevin. Kevin's on his outside. But McGuinness held up in the tackle. Jason Smith blocking up the ball. So perhaps that's one area they have improved on in the second half, restricting the Western Suburbs offloads. Dooley stands there. Dimmick and also McKenzie, the tacklers. Away from dummy half goes Mesha. Little dummy there. Head wobble. Tackled 5 metres inside his own half. Coleman for Langmack. Langmack inside. Up the middle goes Kennedy. There's an offload for GEORGALLIS. GEORGALLIS away from Mahon. Over the top for Leeds. He steps wire. Runs into McCRACKEN 10 metres out from the Parramatta line. Oh, it was a flimsy attempted tackle from Russell Wire. Last tackle here for Western Suburbs. Langmack. He throws the pass for Pearson. Barnes almost comes up with a screamer out the centres. In fact, it was Scott Davey. He stopped his progress, and a couple of teammates there to finish it off. Well, Parramatta clinging on that time.
They've made plenty of breaks, haven't they, Wests, on this occasion? Here it is there, and a good backup by GEORGALLIS. He's having a fantastic game. And Leeds, he beats a tackle, and all falls down on the last tackle.
So 12 points to 4. Magpies over Parramatta. Round 4 of the Optus Cup. Saturday afternoon football coming to you from Parramatta Stadium. For the home side in just a little bit of bother, as McKenzie crawls his way up to halfway. Last tackle here for Parramatta with Raper. He kicks over the head of Andrew Leeds. Back for the corner. A big first bounce, and second bounce, and fifth bounce it was, that got it over the dead ball line. And the result of that, back to the 20. Parramatta down by 8 points. The Magpies 12, Parramatta 4. So restart a play from the 20 for Western Suburbs. Extra points just to feel a little safer there. Supporters will remain on edge, as will their coach Tom RAUDONIKIS. At 12 points to 4. This is CAPOVILLA. Taken around the legs that time by McKenzie. Western Suburbs A pass finds Kennedy from Coleman. The Magpies, big step from Kennedy. And McGUINNESS has put it down cold. And he had Ken McGUINNESS on his outside.
Well, have a look at this. This is the greatest bomb try you will ever see. It was just a simple matter of holding on to the football. In fact, the ball carrier, this man here, could have scored himself, didn't have to throw the football, there was nobody near him. Then McGUINNESS tried to change direction. I wonder if that will come back to haunt them.
Kennedy,
he's a strong player, isn't he? Strong runner, and has a nice Devy called out for a back rower, and he can offload, sort of.
Can be cruel as the pass is loose and King cleans up, but there's one whole stack of Parramatta players there. King was the player who got to the loose ball. This is Jason Smith. And Smith offloads, but it's knocked down by Pearson. Play on for the Magpies. It was almost the impossible ball from Jason Smith.
Yeah, you can see that in his game now, Jason Smith, that he's just trying too hard. It's almost as though he's got to come up with something that special. When you're going through a bad spell as he is, you've really just got to do the simple things right, and that's not what Parramatta are doing at the moment. Another penalty there. Gary Freeman raking the ball out. Man who made that bust Damien Kennedy down, receiving attention. But you find that if you do the simple things right and you work hard, and eventually the big plays will unfold for you. If you go looking for them, there'll be mistakes that you find.
Suburbs edging back in the penalties. They're in search of their third win for the season. Wins over the Steelers and also the Warriors. That one loss to the Broncos. And here at Parramatta headquarters, they're on top by 8 points. There's Dooley taken front on by Chris King. 35 metres out from the Eels line. With Coleman for LANGMACK. Then back for Coleman with a switch. Now GEORGALLIS and LEEDS. LEEDS has got Kevin McGUINNESS. He doesn't need him. LEEDS over the 20, stands up the fullback, gets a pass, touched in front to GEORGALLIS. That could well be the match winner. They're celebrating like they've won the grand final in September. Great try to the Magpies.
Yeah, they're celebrating because it was a beautifully constructed try from a planned move. They were able to isolate a front rower in Adam RITSON. There's Tommy RAUDONIKIS. They've worked long and hard on those kind of moves at training, and when they come off, they're a joy to watch. They come to the open side, some decoy runners, the switch of play. As they go back and get some passes strung together, we freeze it there. That's the big man they've isolated, Adam RITSON, and that will allow the quicker man to get on the outside as play continues. Doesn't have the speed to get across. Andrew Lees looked as though he could have scored himself. He'd beaten Scott Martello, who was ankle tapped. A little touch from Peter Johnson in flight, and Steve GEORGALLIS, as he's done all day, backing up and on the right spot.
Very, very lazy defence there from Parramatta. You could see on the wide shot, as soon as the West came one way, there's 4 or 5 players on the other side of the ruck, did not move up 1 inch. As a result, the try has come to fruition from a great set play.
Plenty of celebrations from the Magpies, and why not? There's still 20 minutes remaining. The kick from in front from Andrew Leeds, and it's successful. So Western Suburbs, they're in control at 18 points to 4. We'll take a break. Barnes gets us back underway for Parramatta. Well, if they had to score next, they do have to score next now. There's still enough time, but with that 14-point margin, it's 3 tries they now need.
The simple fact, Andrew, is they're not playing well enough to win this game. Western Suburbs are just doing everything right. They're playing confident football. Support play, great.
So the Magpies, 35 metres out from their own line. Looking for mistake-free football in this set of 6 as LANGMACK is tackled. He tried to wrestle his way free and then was hoping to be able to play the ball forward. MESCIA takes off from dummy half. Tried to duck under the tackle there of Freeman. Not a bad surge there from Cherry MESCIA. Gets it up to the 40-metre line. Parramatta's end of the field. 5th tackle for Western Suburbs with LEEDS. They're varying their kicks. This time the high ball. It's angled towards WYER, who fields it before it goes over the sideline, and GEORGALLIS makes a tackle with Bell. Parramatta David Woods is back on the field, so at least there's some good news for them as McCRACKEN cut down by Bell. Although Woods, after taking the tackle, I thought he had a little limp after he was tackled. Johnston trying to stand. He had the arms free. Wrapped up by LANGMACK and also MESCIA. His tackle count is right up there with the leading players for Western Suburbs. 21 tackles as RITSON charges over the 40. Now away for MAYBON, but the cover is there for Western Suburbs. Great charge from Adam RITSON. He was at full stretch. Now Freeman away for Mahon, then for Barnes. Knocked down by Freeman, knock on from the number 7.
He's been the shining light, hasn't he, for the Eels? The one joy they've had to watch the second half, Adam RITSON. Another barnstorming run by him. Just running hard and straight. A few of his teammates wouldn't do the same. And Rod Mahon, he's tried hard. He's underdone for the game, his first game of the season. RITSON's really picked up. He's having a big second half block, isn't he, RITSON?
Yeah, outstanding player. The thing I like about his performance today, he's starting to get the skills and have options in his game. Little dummy on the inside to hold up the opposition, then long passes on the outside. He's playing really well.
Ken McGUINNESS from that scrum, coming infield to the 30-metre line. Magpies up by 14. Chad Harris didn't quite get to his feet to play the ball, but Cherry Mesha took off from dummy half like he'd been shot. He made 15 metres, or at least shot at. And now with Coleman, away for CAPOVILLA. He gets the arm three, knocked back by Jim Dimmick, so play on for Parramatta. Off the deck, wasn't a hand on him. Jim Dimmick and Peter Johnston, first of 6 for Parramatta. With Woods, and now Spence, dummy to the left. He's shoved out a right arm fend, and it's attracted plenty. He's lost the ball, open rules. A penalty, breaking it out of his grasp. From centre field, will they think about the quick tap? That's what they've done with Dimmick. He steps away from one offside player, then away from Harris. Now he straightens up Dimmick. And he did well to hang on to it. Once he got a strap on the ball. Holding it out in one hand. 35 metres out from the Magpies line. McKenzie. Front on tackle, not affected by MESCIA that time. He was a little slow getting back into the line as well. Comes across from MAYBON to Freeman. Freeman now with Woods. Thought about passing, then turns inside for McCRACKEN. Coleman makes the tackle. Quick play the ball. Well done from McCRACKEN for Freeman. There were 2 markers there. Penalty goes to Parramatta.
Well, Paul LANGMACK was never in front as a marker. Now Gary Freeman will take another tap. Marty McKenzie drives the ball to 10 metres out. If they are any chance in this game, the Eels, they must score in this set of 6.
And MAYBON takes off from dummy half. 5 metres out from the Magpies line. 18 points to 4 and 16 minutes remaining. This is Jim Dimmick for the Eels. He stands up in the line, taken by GEORGALLIS over the top. Now McCRACKEN has a go from dummy half. He passes to Barnes, who's dropped it. It may not have been the best of passes, but he should have taken it. And on the second tackle, play breaks down for the Eels. No hurry from Western Suburbs. Players like Coleman and LANGMACK just playing it at their own pace.
Yes, great competitors to have in this situation. Team in front, time running out. They'll waste time, they'll do everything so that there's less ball in play, as little ball in play as possible, because everything is in their favour at the moment. Now young Kevin McGUINNESS out of dummy half. Takes it 20 metres out. Coleman going into dummy half to keep play going the same way.
Strong little bloke, Kevin McGUINNESS. He put a very effective left arm fend on Matthew Spence. As the Magpies with CAPOVILLA tackled. 35 metres out from their own line. And away this time for LANGMACK. Wrapping up 2 of the replacement players. McKenzie was in there with LEEDS kicking on the last tackle for Western Suburbs. Again, he's found open space. Mahon standing very deep behind the line, and he's back on his own 10-metre line. He dummied to WYER, fallen for by GEORGALLIS. Bell makes the tackle on Mahon on the 20. Freeman. Well, this time to Russell WYER coming centre field. Bell again was there to make the tackle with Johnston. And here's a penalty for inside the 10 that time, says Mark Oaten. So Parramatta getting some opportunities. But what can they make of them? This time rushing the thought of a quick tap and finding the line. Big advantage in the penalties, 10-5 to Parramatta. But down by 14 points. MAYBON away for King. CAPOVILLA in his tackle count. To 18 now. Third in line for Western Suburbs. Freeman. They're well spread out with Woods. Woods tries to take them on. McGUINNESS hangs on in the tackle and gets him to ground. 25 metres out from the Western Suburbs line. This is Spence with a step. Thought that man may have been offside. LANGMACK, who was the first player there to make the tackle. And they're now 15 out from the line with McCRACKEN for Freeman. This is Dimmick. Dimmick kicks for the corner before the last tackle. Can WYER get there first? The ball goes over the dead ball line only just. Andrew LEEDS took the option of letting it go, and Jason Smith then almost a photo finish.
A nice little set play there with Dimmick putting in the kicks. Smith showed some great pace. He got the ball down, but it was over the line. I think the big difference today between the two teams, I think both forward packs have played well. Been some good competitors on both sides, but the West backs are the blokes who have won the game for West today. 18 points to 4, they're in no danger really of losing it. They're willing to just take the ball up, willing to back up the man with the football. They're enthusiastic, and you couldn't really say the same, in my opinion, for the Parramatta backs.
The Magpies on the attack with Pearson. They've cut them open again. A loose pass from Pearson. Parramatta escape on this occasion, but they just opened them right up.
The score could have been anything if Western Suburbs had taken advantage of the amount of times they busted the line and got into real try-scoring situations.
What do you reckon? 3, 4 tries they've bombed? Here's another one.
At least.
It's Saturday afternoon crowd too. Very encouraging signs the crowd figures we've had. Just over the 12,000 mark today. Parramatta and Western Suburbs, 12,349. On top of almost 35,000 last night. There's David Woods with it. Then for Barnes. Western Suburbs in turn don't open up. It's been touched by a Western Suburbs player. Chance here for Woods. He's taken high by Andrew LEEDS, and there could be a little bit of trouble. Again, it hasn't hurt Woods, but he went high. No doubt about that.
They're very similar to the Jason Smith incident. Andrew LEEDS claiming that it was a grab of the jersey. It's worthy of a penalty, but nothing further. Freeman takes the tap, finds Johnson.
11 minutes remaining. Johnston offloads for Raper. He has a go himself and trapped 2 metres out from the line. CAPOVILLA was the tackler. Freeman. Dimmick at first receiver. Inside pass for Smith, then for RITSON. Set play. RITSON steamrolls his way over. Adam RITSON has scored for the Eels. Is it too late though? 18 points to 8.
Yeah, good on him too. Adam RITSON, he deserves that try. A nice little set play from Ronnie HILDITCH there around the ruck. Quite a simple one, but the West defence, it sort of hung on the line there. Look at it there on the line. There's 3 or 4 of them haven't moved up, and then it's all too late once Adam RITSON's on the charge. He bursts through a couple of feebles and gets the try. Blocker at his best, that one.
Yeah, good work in a play here from Jim Dimmick, and then Jason Smith. As Paul pointed out, they didn't come off the line in the middle of the ruck, and when you've got a rampaging RITSON coming at you, you're not going to stop him from 5 metres out. He goes through 1 tackle, and then another 2, and reaches out. No problems getting the ball down.
Does he remind you of someone, Block?
Not with me, I never got across the try line much.
So Barnes has this kick at 18 points to 8. Can they find something out of the bag? Barnes none from 1. His second attempt at goal has hit the upright, and no goal for Nathan Barnes. So goal kicking a problem. The Magpies 18, the Eels 8. Western Suburbs, as it was with that scrum forming just a few moments ago, a slow walk back to halfway. They're the ones in front. As we have a look at the try again, Smith, Dimmick and RITSON. Right at the end, he forced his way over.
Those sort of things happen when you've got an 18-4 lead and they tend to be a bit lazy. You know, we've got the game won with 9 or 10 minutes to go. We can relax, but this game of rugby league, you can't afford to relax for 1 minute. And Tom RAUDONIKIS during the week will no doubt point that out to his charges.
Parramatta back with the ball. They don't want to rest easy. Newcastle and St George last Monday, if they want to refresh their memories. Raper here. Gets a pass away for Mahon. Mahon almost away from Leeds. Yes, Newcastle piled on 3 tries in a short space when the match was basically dead and buried as DYMOCK inside for Spence. Spence has charged through the line. Stands up Leeds. Spence is away to score. A double strike from the Parramatta Eels, and there's not one Parramatta fan not standing right now as the Eels get their 3rd try.
And you would hope that this conversion attempt would be successful from under the post, but Matthew Spence, have a look at the move he puts on Andrew Leeds. This would set up play. Beautiful work from Aaron Raper, holding off the defender. Scott Martin pulled back in support. And then a little pass back inside from DYMOCK to Matthew Spence, brushed through some defence. That's a great step and tremendous speed from the back rower.
Well, as I said, you can't write him off. I'll keep coming back. West have done us in George. They've gone to sleep. They're playing slack football now. I mean, Aaron Raper ran backwards 14 metres there to offload. Oh, great finish coming up.
Nathan Barnes, he won't want a conversion to win the match, I don't think. He's finally got one. 1 from 3. Tommy's gone for the Gaspers. It's 18-14. The Magpies over the Eels. The Western Suburbs blinked twice, 2 kickoffs in a short space of time. Andrew leads from halfway. The Magpies now have to find something extra. Adam RITSON comes back over the 20. Taken in the tackle of Hick and also Bell as Johnston. Around the legs was Kennedy. Where the point's going to come from if Parramatta do break the line again, you reckon the man tackle could be the play to set it up. Jim DYMOCK, Raper a dummy half. Freeman, they're wide on the left with Maybon. Maybon sends the pass to Barnes, he's almost through. Kevin McGuinness around the ankles, desperation as Maybon takes off from dummy half down the blind, and that is the 5th tackle for Parramatta. With it is Raper. Raper the short pass for Freeman. He tries a bomb. Well, Andrew Leeds put to the test. He doesn't fail too often. He hasn't come up with it. Penalty goes to Western Suburbs.
Oh, yes. Parramatta actually got to the ball first, but it's been knocked down and an offside man has picked it up. So the charge just stops briefly. Leeds is in good position. Didn't really get a good leap at it. But there you go, Jason Smith offside.
Slow things down now, the Maggies, as Gary Freeman goes back to the bench and David Woods comes back on. And again, the amount of try-scoring chances that Western Suburbs have frittered away, that's why they're in the situation that they are. Yes, they've gone to sleep. Yes, they've missed some tackles. But yes, they should have also been another 12, 14 points in front.
18-14. Just under 5 minutes remaining.
Just look how Parramatta have lifted now. They think they are some chance to win this, and the crowd has really picked up. Right, he's had a big game. Kennedy, look at him go. Oh, he goes.
Spence makes the tackle. MESCIA goes to dummy half. He takes off for the umpteenth time in this half. He's made another 15. His boots gone flying. He cares naught. He is hurt though, Jerry MESCIA. Coleman in a dummy half. LANGMACK calls for it. He's got it now, LANGMACK. He's got Kennedy on. He's outside. Kennedy tackled. 5 metres out from the Parramatta line.
In goal area is the place to go.
Coleman knows it. That's where he's got it. Mahon cleans up for Parramatta and back to the field of play. He's beaten 3. He'll cop the tackle 2 metres out from his own line. Superb play from Scotty Mahon. What a game of football. As Russell WYER has tackled. Pearson's been hurt for Western Suburbs. He's favouring his left shoulder. That's not good news. McCRACKEN now. Pearson almost called upon to make a tackle as McCRACKEN beat 2. The tackler was Darren Willis. Parramatta at the wrong end of the field as far as they're concerned. Johnston takes it up.
Yes, the Eels praying for a penalty here. I've got to go wide to the left. That's where they'll go now. They need another set of 6.
As DYMOCK gets the pass towards, here it comes, Barnes, inside for DAVEY. And Kevin McGuinness has done some great defensive work. He was on the spot again.
Last tackle.
DYMOCK with it. He kicks deep. It's past Leeds and it's past Ken McGuinness, and it's a good bounce as far as Parramatta are concerned. McGuinness picks up for his own goal line and the chase is there. Barnes makes the tackle with Davey. I was watching Brandon Pearson. I reckon he's gone with his left shoulder. He's got the ball now, or maybe he's not. He's come back. Quick recovery over the 20.
Don't run in the shoulder.
Oh, that'll...
As now it's back for GEORGALLIS. Good step from him.
Well, they're just about out on their feet, West. Parramatta have lifted, but West, they're struggling. Just got a couple of minutes to hang on. They'll need a big kick at the end of this one.
Dooley is tackled 15 metres inside his own half.
Yes, the kick is the important play for the Magpies now. Offload from LANGMACK to MAYBON is a very good one. Nearly gets to halfway. Someone's got to get in a good kicking position here. Coleman goes into dummy half. That's exactly what he's done and finds touch. Well, no, the ball bounces away, but it's just as good.
Back for Mahon, and Mahon is tackled. Just on the speed of this finish, Jerry Mesh has been playing without a boot for about the past 4 minutes. It's juggled by Davey. He just regathers. And then somersaulted in the tackle by Kevin McGUINNESS. That might have been all over there. RITSON from inside the 20. Look at him go, Adam RITSON. He's beaten 4. Almost. Tackle 25 metres out from his own line. Raper away from MAYBON. DYMOCK wants it. He doesn't get it this time. MAYBON has wrapped up centre field. 32 metres out from his own line. 2 minutes remaining now, and 4 points the difference as Smith. He had the arm free, but no support there, and this is the 5th tackle. So good defence in this set of 6. A bad pass put down by Barnes. Change over for Western Suburbs.
Well, that's an incredible lack of communication now. Going the wrong way for a start. There's nothing doing down the blind, so West had 3 or 4 men down there. And the go was to the open, where they had a couple of men overlapping.
The Magpies, time was called off for a brief moment by referee Oaten. This is Andrew HICK. He shoulders his way forward, tackled by McKenzie. Mesha now. There'll be nothing fancy here. Dooley, good run from Justin Dooley, tackled on the 30-metre line. Parramatta's end of the field, the mighty Magpies, in search of win number 3 for the season. Pearson. Got that shoulder working quick. GEORGALLIS in a dummy half. Away now it comes for Kennedy. What a second half he's had. What a game he's had. Damien Kennedy taken over the top by RITSON. And down to almost the minute mark now as GEORGALLIS stepping. Runs into a tackle. 5th for Western Suburbs. There's MAYBON for LEEDS. He kicks. It's fielded on the full by Smith. Last chance for Parramatta with DYMOCK. He stepped away from one. DYMOCK now back to the 20. Still going Jimmy DYMOCK and tackle. Over the top was Andrew HICK. Now inside the final 60 seconds. MAYBON away for McCRACKEN. He steps away now for WYER. WYER a one-handed pass. Trouble for Parramatta. They've lost it. And that is game over as far as the Eels are concerned. And Western Suburbs now can run from dummy half until the cows come home. WILLIS with it. He gets away from Spence and wrapped up there in the tackle of McKenzie. So Western Suburbs 18-14 inside the final 30 seconds with Dooley. He decides an offload and Bell makes the tackle. There's calls from LANGMACK, there's calls from Coleman. Just tuck it under the arm and take the tackle. Here comes one of them. That's exactly what they do. The tackle made from Smith, and the Western Suburbs Magpies have won. A few hard palpitations towards the finish, but I don't think anyone here, not even the Parramatta fans, could deny the Magpies their victory. 3 tries all, but 4 points the difference on the scoreboard. And Western Suburbs, a very, very happy team, defeating Parramatta on their home soil in both grades by 18 points to 14.
Well, Mario Fennick in the end, what an absolute thriller. 3 tries apiece, but the Magpies did all the hard work early on and it paid off.
Yeah, the score flattered Parramatta, I felt. They came back to their credit. But let's work this out. Parramatta have got a number of new players. It's going to take them time, but I don't know if their supporters they want it to happen now.
Well, it's round 4, of course. They've been on a big spending spree throughout the off-season. Parramatta fans have waited a long time for a good team. On paper, this looks like a good team. They just need to put back-to-back victories together.